One of the things I've heard a lot about from yoga teachers is, do I need to run ads? The answer is yes. So today I wanted to clear up a few things about ads for yoga teachers, why you need them, and a little bit about how they work. I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty details, but let's start out with where most yoga teachers start. Okay, so a lot of yoga teachers go, I'm gonna go organic. And unless you've got a huge following already, that's only a small portion of your social media and advertising strategy, your marketing strategy. What I find a little bit challenging about when teachers say I'm gonna go organic is that usually the teacher saying that also dislike posting organically. And one of the things about organic is that if you're just gonna make a post and then post it in the moment, that's not really a strategy. That's just posting random content. Organic content, and like you should be posting organic content in the moment, but that's more like backstage stuff. Or, I just finished a class. Look, everyone's like super happy. We're all feeling good, sort of like behind the scenes stuff. But most organic content should be strategized, planned, bulk created, and then scheduled, right? One of the fastest ways that I got burnt out as a yoga teacher was constantly trying to post. And even worse, was trying to post inside the Instagram app. This frustrated me so much. This was one of my key issues, and still is one of the key issues if I'm trying to post regularly on Instagram, posting in the app. I don't really do it anymore. There's other ways you can do it. But posting in the app on Instagram was huge for me. I don't like doing that because the text box is so small. One of the only things I really enjoy in Instagram is playing with their reels. They have some pretty good tools in there, and now they can finally schedule them out. That makes it pretty nice. But going organic, a lot of teachers don't really like posting organically, but when it comes to their marketing strategy, they're like, I'm gonna go organic. So yeah, you need to be like looking, say, at the month. Like this month, what are you going to be focusing on communicating with your students? What are you going to share? What are you going to educate them on? What are you going to entertain them with? When are you going to run a giveaway or offer a freebie? How is your messaging in your posts over time supporting students on their journey, right? I know I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. Posting asanas with random benefits or the benefits of that asana is not a strategy. You're just listing asana benefits, okay? So what you need to be, I would recommend looking back at like a month and saying, okay, like this month, what are we focusing on, right? Maybe you're gonna be posting asana photos of hip openers. Okay, but instead of saying, this is good for the groin and this is good for this certain muscle or this organ or your cycle or whatever, go bigger than that. If you're focusing on something for the month, right? Like some part of their life, then show how these hip openers are going to help with that in their life, right? Again, it's about making this connection between what you physically do in the asana, what some of the more subtle or spiritual components of the asana are, and how they relate to the bigger part of the student's life. And if you can plan for something like that over a month, right, then that will impact what kind of photos you take or what kind of videos you make, what your captions talk about, how your captions relate to each other or connect with a theme over the week and over the month. That is posting organically. Going organic also means interacting with other people. Guess what? A lot of people are surprised to find out that they have to actually interact with other people on social media, social social media, socializing, right? Like if you just post, asana, here's the benefits, and 20 hashtags, you're not going to get many people coming around because the value you're providing is very limited. And why would they watch or look at your photo of an asana and list the benefits when somebody else is making a video and explaining the whole thing in a tutorial? They're going to go for that one, right? So the other part of social is not just planning and strategizing, starting out with say a month or maybe like 2 weeks, but you also need to be socializing on social media. So that means like you should be hanging out in the accounts that your students like. How do you know which accounts they like? See what accounts they're following. Ask them. Those are two big, easy ways. Ask them in the DMs, get on a video call, ask them there. Why do you like it? Why do you follow it? What are you learning? Are you following it for education or for entertainment? Right? And then analyze those accounts that they're following and replicate/emulate, not copy, emulate the strategy. Add your own twist on it. Add your voice, add your personality, right? So that's dope, right? That's great. That's your organic approach right there. Now, what's the other part? Because we talked about, do yogis need to be running ads? Yeah. Especially when you're starting out, like if you're running a bigger audience, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of followers, your reach is probably growing quite quickly organically, right? Because the algorithm knows who is most likely to be a match for you and your profile and the type of content you're creating based on they have a bigger data set, okay? But when your data set is so small, because you're just starting out, it's hard for the algorithm to make an accurate recommendation and, get the person to follow you, which means they scroll your posts, which means they spend more time on the platform, you see? So the second part is ads. Now, what are ads? An ad is just, it's like a post, right? It's just that you're paying for it to get extra exposure and more reach. And ads also have a serious benefit. Links, okay? Why does a link matter? Because the link gives you an opportunity to send the person seeing that ad to the place of your choice, okay? Now, on YouTube, you got the link in the description. Fair enough, pretty easy to access it. That's a major benefit to YouTube over IG, because in IG, you can't post links in the captions, right? But in ads on both YouTube and Instagram, you definitely can add links. So a link should take a student or a prospect, they're not your student yet, but it should take a prospect from your ad to a page, to one of your website pages that gets them to do something you want, right? Depending on the type of ad, that will determine what they're doing. So like if you're doing what's called cold traffic, right? Meaning you're reaching out to people on the internet through social media or Google that you don't know, then you will be doing cold traffic, which means that these are people who are new to you. They're not fans yet. They don't know you. You don't have their information. So what you want to do is something easy, right? Collect their email. This is called a lead magnet. A lead magnet is just designed to give them something for free in exchange for their contact information, right? Primarily email, maybe text, but most people will go email. This is a gold mine. Having an email list of your own means you can reach out to these people at any time in the future, right? Massive. Don't underestimate emails. I'll do another video on that. So you're doing emails, or you're collecting emails in this lead magnet, and in exchange for their email, you give them something for free. A worksheet, a special asana video, not just a random one. Combination, maybe a little asana video or pranayama video or whatever, and a worksheet to follow out, if like to take some follow-up steps from the video, right? Or something that explains why what you're doing in the video is important or something like that, right? Completely automated, you do nothing. The point is just to collect emails, as many as possible, and then you can follow up with those people in the future, and a percentage of them will take further actions with you. Okay, pretty cool. The next one you have is called warm traffic. So warm traffic is running ads to people who may already follow you on social. They may have seen one of your ads previously but not followed or not signed up for whatever offer you're trying to get them to go through. Like when I say lead magnet, but it may also be people who have gone through deeper stages of your systems. Maybe they've signed up for 2 or 3 things from you. Maybe they've booked a call with you previously and they didn't follow through or something like that. These are people who are going to be warm traffic. Hot traffic ads are run and shown to people who have already made a purchase with you. Usually that's considered pretty hot traffic, or are already really into your systems. They've got a lot of activity, but you want to take them to the next level. Maybe they've made a small purchase, but you want to take them up to a big purchase, something like that. Okay. Now, here's a misconception. Ads are expensive. Okay. And a lot of teachers don't know why they should pay for ads, right? So if I say, I spend $300 a month on ads, most yoga teachers are going to go, oh my gosh, you spend $300 a month on ads? And it sounds like a lot of money if you don't know how advertising works. And I have to admit, right, I'm going through this stage. I am not an advertising expert, but I have spent a few thousand on ads. But here's how ads work. There is one really key metric, and it's called ROAS, return on ad spend. Now, what does that mean? That's a big acronym and sounds like some corporate scary crap that yoga teachers don't want to be associated with. But here's what it means. How many dollars did you make in sales for every dollar you spent on ads? Okay. Now, when you're running ads, people need to see your ad enough times, right? Some really good ads, it should only be once or twice. But until you get to that point, right, usually you have to spend a fair bit of money to figure out what your audience is looking for and read the data, collect the data, interpret the data, update your systems to be on point with what customers are looking for and the right communication and stuff. So usually people got to see your ads a few times. Now, when they see your ad, it may cost a couple of cents, 1 or 2 cents, maybe 3 cents if you're on social. Clicking your ad may cost a little bit more, and so on, right? So usually in Google ads or in Facebook ads, you pay per result. There's different fees for different kinds of ads, and I'm not going to go into that kind of stuff, but essentially, let's take Google ads for example. In Google ads, you pay when somebody clicks on your link or your ad, okay? And then they're taken to your website or your social or whatever you're intending for them to do. And with that, you're going to pay a fee, but you specify to Google and Facebook does this too. By the way, if you want to advertise on Instagram, you have to go through Facebook ads or like Meta Business Suite if you want to get technical. So you set the budget. For Facebook and Google, the daily budget, right? You can go in there and say, I want to run an ad from December 1st to December 25th. And I want this ad to run in this town or these cities or these countries. Amazing, right? And I only want to spend this much per day. Now, it's not a guarantee. Like if you, and usually you can start out at like $3 or $4 per day. So if you're running this, you're spending a few dollars on ads per day. And you should have all your systems set up before you do ads. So when you're doing this, let's say that you're spending $3 a day, right? That's $21 per week and $84 per month. Right? Now, if you're comparing that to Netflix, that seems pretty expensive. But let's go back to return on ad spend. How many dollars do you make for every dollar that you spend on ads? Again, there's different kinds of ads. Some of them, you're just trying to build what's called awareness. You're just trying to get more people aware of your brand. More advanced ad strategies will include a second type of ad that is only shown to people who've already seen your first ad. And you could take this to extreme levels. So let's just keep it simple. We're spending $84 a month on ads. And let's say you've got a $10 ebook for sale. Okay. Now, it's going to cost you a little bit more to get those people clicking and taking action because they're buying something versus just seeing your post and liking it or following you on social or YouTube or whatever. Now, I don't sell ebooks. I'm not an advertising expert, but let's just say that it costs you $2 to run ads to enough people and find someone, the systems will do that for you, to find someone who will click your ad and buy your ebook. Okay, so it costs you $2 to do that, and your ebook is $10. Okay, so what's our return on ad spend per dollar? Well, if we divide the cost of getting someone to buy the book, which is $2, divide that in half, we get $1, which means we also need to do that with the cost of the ebook. 10 divided in half is $5. Now we can make an accurate calculation of return on ad spend. We make $5 for every $1 we spend on ads to get someone to do the conversion. Okay, so that means we convert them from a browser to a buyer. That means logically that if it cost, for every $1 you spend on running ads, right? Let's just make it easy. Let's just say it only costs $1 to get someone to buy your book. It's not going to be that cheap. Maybe some experts in ads are getting those kinds of levels, but when you're starting out, it's probably not going to be that cheap. But let's just use for simplicity. If you spend $1 on advertising to make $5 selling your book, right? $5 minus $1 is $4. So that means that for every $1 you spend on ads, you make $4 in sales, right? You technically make $5 in sales, but when we account for the $1 in ads, you made $4, right? There's going to be other costs in there, like whatever, if you're selling your book on Apple Books or Amazon or Google Books, they're going to take a cut, but let's just keep it simple. So that means that you have a return on ad spend of 4 to 1. Okay, you make $4 for every $1 you spend on advertising. That means that if you spend, let's just keep it simple, $80 in ads, you can multiply that by 4, which is 240, right? Or sorry, 320. 8, 16, 24, 32, yeah. So if you spend $80 in ads, then logically you should make $320 in ebook sales, right? Now bear in mind this is a super simple example, but it's proof of concept, right? This would be broken down for someone who's, been investing in their ads, learning about their audience, doing this for a little while. That does take time. But you can see now why spending $80 a month on ads is a really worthwhile investment, right? 4-to-1 for return on ad spend. I don't know if you're going to get that kind of ratio on a $5 or a $10 book, but as you raise your prices for the services and the products that you offer, that number should be going up, right? So for example, I've taken marketing courses that focus on advertising, and there are people who are doing 10 to 15 times return on ad spend, right? And they're selling big time premium courses. So if we scaled these numbers up, and this is where the magic of this comes in. This is the crazy part, guys. I know the video is going a little long, but I really want to drive this point. Let's say that you figure out you get a 4-to-1 return on your ad spend, right? Now on $80, you make $320. Okay, but that logically means that if you were to double the amount of money you spent on ads from 80 to 160, you could then theoretically double the amount of money you make from 320 to 640. Do you see? So now, tell me, which yoga teacher is going to be doing better? The yoga teacher who wants to go from 10 classes per week up to 20? Sure, they've doubled their income, but they've also doubled their time. Money you can get back. Time you can't, not in this life, right? Maybe in your next one, but why wait till then to get your time back? Now think about this at the premium level. Say you spend $1,000 on ads, right? And so logically, if you're making 4-to-1, that means you should make 4,000 in sales after you're if it costs you, anyways, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, right? Let's just say taking out the cost of ads, you've got 4,000 left over, right? Here's where it gets even crazier, guys. And there's a little bit more risk and strategy here. But the thing with Google ads and Facebook ads that's juicy, if you can get this part right, or once you get this part right, what you got to remember with Facebook and Google ads is that they don't charge you money. They don't make you pay until either what's called a billing threshold, right? So when you're starting out, these chipmunks are so loud. When you're starting out, they don't know you. They don't know your billing history. They're not going to give you very much credit, okay? So they might give you $100 or $200 where they let you spend that much money on ads before they want you to pay up, right? Usually they have a double system for this. They'll say, you pay once you reach the end of the month, right? Like you've been doing this for a whole month, or once you reach a certain billing threshold. As you do more advertising and spend more with them, usually they'll let you go higher and higher before they want you to pay up, or the month comes, right? I think everybody has to pay at the end of the month. But when you're starting out, the billing threshold is low, okay? So think about this, just to process this for a second. You can tell them to run $80 worth of ads per month, but you don't pay until the end of the billing cycle, but your sales happen when the customer clicks and purchases, right? So theoretically, let's say you're doing let's say you're like, okay, I want to spend $1,000 in ads every month, right? And you sell something that is $3,000, right? Technically, you could start ads with $0, right? You don't even have the money. You'd have to be super confident in your ability to deliver on the sales and get the ads to work. But hypothetically, you could run ads without having the money at the time you start running the ads, get someone to sign up within the month, and then use the money from the sale to pay for the ads at the end of the month. Like, what? Once you grasp this, it's mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. You can run ads for free until you have to pay your balance. So you're not really doing them for free, but you don't have to pay to run the ads until your billing cycle is due or you reach your billing threshold. But if you can manage to make sales before that happens, you can use the money from the sales to pay for the ads. That's insane, right? Now maybe it doesn't drive you crazy on, spending $80 in ads to make $300 in sales. But if you scale that up to spending $1,000 in ads and make $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 in sales, which is possible. I've literally seen ad accounts that do this, right? And then honestly, even that amount is nothing. But my coach does tens of thousands of dollars per month in ad sales. And he can literally be like, it costs us this much money to run ads, and we make this much money in sales. So once you get that, right, like whatever your finance goals are, say you want to make $4,000 a month. Well, once you know how much you make once you've spent money on ads, for every dollar you get back, it's pretty clear, right? So if you spend $500 a month in ads and you make $1,000 a month in sales after accounting for the cost of ads, right? Call it $1,000 a month in profit. That means that you need to spend $2,000 in ads to make $4,000 in sales, right? Or profit. Well, depending on your setup. Let's just keep it simple, right? Like, that's crazy. If you spend $500 right now and you know you're going to make $1,000 in, let's call it profit after your ad expenses, right? That means in order to make 4 times as much, you need to spend 4 times as much. So anyways, I hope I'm making this clear. Like, yeah, yoga teachers need to run ads. And once you have something for sale that doesn't require you to be doing live classes all the time, an ebook, a workshop, a retreat, something recorded, a course, whatever, ads are a game changer. They protect your energy. They spread your message way faster than you ever could. And they allow you to scale your income to levels that most yoga teachers would laugh at because they think it's unachievable. Yeah, teaching group classes and trying to make 10 grand a month is unachievable. You're not going to do that. No studio can afford to pay you for that many classes and at that rate. Okay? But here's the game changer. If you were running ads for whatever product or service online and you were making a few thousand from sales in those ads, don't you think you could go and enjoy teaching group classes for free or for a very low price because you've got something else making you your money? Now you can afford to step away from your job. Now you can afford to do live in-person classes for cheap because you've got another source of income. Just saying. If you want to learn how to get started with building yourself something you can sell online automatically, link down below, free workshop to show you how to do it. I'll see you inside.